In Kenya, protests against the controversial finance bill escalated this week, with demonstrators storming the parliament building and clashing with police. At least 5 people have been reported dead and dozens are injured. The protests, which started in the capital Nairobi, quickly spread countrywide and have seen thousands of young people take to the streets. The bill proposed to significantly increase the cost of goods and services in Kenya to help pay off foreign debt, a move that has sparked widespread outrage in the East African country. The cost of living in Kenya has soared in the past few years, with prices of food and fuel spiralling. My next guest, Wawira Njuru, is the founder of Food for Education, Africa's largest locally led and independently run school feeding programme, feeding more than 300,000 children every single day with close to zero waste. Food for Education was recognised as one of Time 100's most influential companies. Wawira Njuru, it's an absolute pleasure having you on Channel's Business Global finally, because I know you are a busy lady, and I did just give you a couple of words off air because, of course, this week the world is watching Kenya. We were watching you a couple of weeks ago because, of course, everybody was celebrating. Slightly jealous. You got a state visit in America. We saw Ruto standing shoulder to shoulder with Biden. We were excited. And then, of course, there have been deadly protests this week. I know this has got absolutely zero to do with Food for Education, but of course, you're on the ground, Wawira. So first of all, can you just give us, your impression of what's happening, what your hopes are for Kenya? Of course, you're an entrepreneur. You're doing so well in the country. Not everybody feels that they're benefiting from the administration.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think, the world has been watching. And as Kenyans, I live in Nairobi. I've been in Nairobi all along. This has been happening. And it's been such a moment of reckoning for the country, especially because our young people are speaking. I'm a young person. The Gen Zs, I'm not a Gen Z, closer to Gen Zs, millennials. But millennials, Gen Zs, all the young people in the country are speaking. And they were trying to say that, first of all, they are frustrated because of the opportunities that are available in the country. And I think that's a Kenya issue. It's a continental issue. A lot of young people, Africa is a very young continent. Kenya average age is about 19. Wow. So these are the people who are out on the street saying that we are educated. We want opportunities that match our education. And even when we go to school, we want to feel like this country can offer us something. And so we saw them matching on the street, specifically speaking about the finance bill. The finance bill was to raise revenue from the government side, but would impose significantly more taxes on people. And people are saying that this is not the time for that. We've already seen a couple of new taxes imposed, and they were saying that, right now is not the time for that. And right now is not the time to sort of have more taxes. It's the time for us to feel like this country is giving us something. And yesterday we saw the president listen to that. The president say that I have heard you. I have seen what is happening. I've heard from the young people, and he rejected and withdrew the finance bill. Now, from a perspective of a Kenyan, I think that there was demonstrations that were peaceful, and there was some, people who were killed, which I think was very, very unfortunate, and something that we as Kenyans are shocked by and regret very significantly. I think this moment specifically means that young voices, not just in Kenya, across the continent, are starting to be listened to. And we should really push for young people to be part of decision making, to be part of how our countries run, because that is what will mean that decisions being made and laws that are being implemented are for young people, are able to benefit young people. And that's what at Food for Education we're very, very passionate about, that young people are part of the decision-making process and that they're being invested in to live a more prosperous and dignified life.
Here, Wawira, I was just nodding like a nodding dog to everything that you were saying. I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm kind of probably similar age for you, where we're kind of touching Gen Z, touching millennial. But we want peace, right? And as you said, the continent is, young. It's a very young continent.
Yes.
So the young people have a significant sway in what is happening. But as you said, the president, William Ruto, he has conceded the finance bill won't be elevated at this point. So we're all keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. We want to talk about food for education. That's exactly why you're speaking with us today. You're not a spokesperson for the government. Talk to me about the recent recognition you've been receiving.
Thank you. So Food for Education is an organization that actually invests in young people, specifically children, the next generation here in Kenya. We've been providing school meals for the last 12 years, and right now provided over 50 million meals. We work every day with 330,000 children, giving them lunch every day. And the recognition we just received was being named as one of Time 100's most influential companies in the world, which is the first African nonprofit to be on the list, which is a very exciting milestone, but also a significant show of confidence in our model and our impact and what we're delivering every single day for Kenya's future, which is our children. So I was lucky enough to get a degree, to get an opportunity to go to Australia to do a degree in nutrition and food sciences. And it's at that time that I thought about starting Food for Education as a small passion project, feeding 25 children every day. That has grown that. I've grown that over the last 12 years with an incredible team, and now feed 330,000 children every single day.
It is exciting. We pray for peace, and of course, you know, the development and the support of indigenous organisations such as yours, who are helping to fuel the lives of these young people who will be the next Rutos and Tinubus and Obamas. It's an absolute pleasure speaking with you today, Wawira Njiru, who is the founder of Food for Education, of course, have been recognised as being one of the best companies by Time magazine. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.